Do you understand economics?
I mean, big-time, pre-war global capitalism? Do you get how it worked?
I didn't, and anyone who says they do is full of shit. There are no rules, no scientific absolutes. You win, you lose, it's a total crapshoot.
The only rule that ever made sense to me, I learned from a history, not an economics professor at Wharton. Fear, he used to say. Fear is the most valuable commodity in the universe. That blew me away. Turn on your TV, he'd say. What are you seeing? People selling you products? No. People selling you the fear of having to live in a world without their products.
Fucking A, he was right. Fear of aging, fear of loneliness, fear of poverty, fear of failure.
Fear is the most basic human emotion we have. Fear is primal, and fear sells.
When I first heard about the outbreaks, back when it was still called African rabies, I saw the opportunity of a lifetime. I met with some of my nearest and dearest. I was the first one to come up with a workable pitch. A vaccine. A real vaccine for rabies.
Thank God there's no cure for rabies. A cure would make people take it only if they thought they were infected. But a vaccine, that's preventative. People will keep taking it as long as they're afraid it's out there.
We had plenty of contacts in the biomed industry, with plenty more up on Hill and Penn Avenue.
We could have a working prototype in less than a month and a proposal written up within a couple of days. By the 18th hole, it was handshakes all around. Please, are you serious? Back then, the FDA was one of the most underfunded, mismanaged organizations in the country. I think they were still high-fiving over getting red number 2 out of M&Ms. Plus, this is one of the most business-friendly administrations in American history. J.P. Morgan and John D. Rockefeller were getting wood from beyond the grave for this guy in the White House.
His staff didn't even bother to read our cost assessment report. They railroaded it through the FDA in 2 months. Remember that whole thing about people don't need big government, they need big protection, and they need it big time?
Jesus Christmas! I think half the country creamed their pants at that. How high do you think the president's approval ratings went that night? 70%? 80%? I just know that it jacked our IPO 389% that first day. We knew it would work against rabies, and that's what they said it was, right? Just some weird strain of jungle rabies. You know, they, the UN or somebody. That's what everyone ended up calling it, right? African rabies? Why? People used to take flu shots all the time, never knowing if it was the right strain. Why was this any different? Discovered what? We never lied, you understand. They told us it was rabies, so we made a vaccine for rabies. Technically, we never lied. Who was gonna blow the whistle? The medical profession, the FDA who let it pass, the congressmen who all voted for its exception, the Surgeon General, the White House? This was a win-win situation. Everyone got to be heroes and everyone got to make money. 6 months after Flanax hit the market, you started to get these cheaper knockoff brands, all solid sellers, as well as the other stuff like home air purifiers. It didn't matter. It still had the same brand name, from the makers of. All I had to say was may prevent some viral infections. That was it. It wasn't even the idea of safety anymore. It was the idea of safety. Now I understand why it used to be illegal to shout fire in a crowded theater. People aren't gonna say, hey, I don't smell smoke. Is there really a fire? No, they say, holy shit, there's a fire, run! Remember when we started to get our first cases here in the States and that guy from Florida said he'd been bitten but survived because of Flanax? Oh, God! God fucking bless that dumbass, whoever he was.
It protected them from their fears, and that's all I was selling.
Hell, because of Flanax, the biomed sector started to recover, which in turn jump-started the stock market, which gave the impression of a recovery, which restored consumer confidence to stimulate an actual recovery. Flanax, hands down, ended the recession.
I ended the recession.
Per-fucking-cisely. That's the alpha cunt who should be shot. What's her name? Who first broke the story? Look what she did. She caused the spiral. She caused the Great Panic.
For what? For making a little fucking cash?
All I did was what any of us are supposed to do. I chased my dream and I got a slice.
You want to blame someone? Blame whoever first called it rabies.
Or who knew it wasn't rabies but gave us the green light anyway. Shit, you want to blame someone, why not start with the sheep who forked over their greenbacks without bothering to do a little responsible research?
I never held a gun to their heads. They made the choice themselves. They're the bad guys, not me. I never directly hurt anybody. And if anybody was too stupid to get themselves hurt,
boo fucking who. If there is a hell, I don't want to think about how many of those dumb shits might be waiting for me. I just hope they don't want a refund.